The program this morning. Remember, say the listen we live on www.radiodemocracy.sl, and remember, say Nale Rock Metal Group, the sponsor of Radio Democracy, for bringing the program. Good morning, Salukan to you. And this program is powered by Afisel. You listen we live from Radio Partner, the Radio Shalom, 89.5 Nakona Dugo and Falabadi Street. Same way so on Radio Maleng, 88.5, Radio 1J 101.3 na Pujon District, Radio Colente 90.0 na Cambia, Radio Moa 105.5 na Kainlao, Vopad Radio na Waterloo, Voice of Sando na Konodi Street, Voice of Karine na Kamakweo on 98.0, Voice of Maso na Pujon District, Jange Radio 99.3 FM na Lower Bond District, and Advocacy Radio na Putloko District. The program na Good Morning Salon will come to you live from Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. If you want to be part of the program, you can send in your message on Radio Democracy Facebook page or drop in your message on the number 077 981 981.
The program Good Morning Salon they continue. We start for look at issues we go inside the last 2 weeks. Confusion don't they be na the Pentagon community Lumley na the western part na Freetown. We say to family the fight for land. We make the bailiff na High Court and Self Salon Police we don't begin broke some owes them na this land. We say the two family in the fight for. We make one pan the family member them from the two people who the fight for this land. We na Pastor Sam Luba don't call on community people not for fight, but with Sote the land ministry go na the land today and decide would I na the owner of the land. Well, for more on this we join Jaffa Mans Davis.
For second court order, we agree say now one day Toronka get one land what's up around Pentagon community in Lumley inside Freetown. This be make police, bailiff department na High Court allegedly remand them. With community people be involved per riot outside the community, been same so alleged say tear gas, live bullet, and stone them be then at the sky inside this community. Where them go for broke the host them within at this land. All this be later tap school picking them. Not for go school with one young man where the community alleged say bullet burst into Jordan. But as one mandate where the police get now for protect the life and property of citizens them, make the police been called for community engagement outside the local unit commander now the Lumley Police Division, Edison Vandy. Talk about how the police been see this issue.
The regional commander and I commander, because today we want to talk to Sarah Toronka, one of the family members of the Toronka family, and it tell them outrightly say, yes, there is a court order where the High Court of Sierra Leone rule in your favor. And we the police, we get a constitutional mandate for execute that order day. He said, but that community day, I not go there to he say, but it don't grow. And we know the security situation of the country. He say, we don't go on for do anything, we go bring wrong at the community. He say the best thing we can advise now for engage with members of the community.
With this statement, it be important for get from the Toronka family and Bokari Bayo. Now been the representative from this family, it been get this message for the community.
The word now that they're open for negotiation. They say no once let this thing end in demolition. They want for end them in a peaceful settlement where the communities and themselves go able to settle this thing amicably. This matter don't they in a court for over 23 years. Them say they not they wish for demolish nobody in us, but then they wish for let the community engaging through the lawyer when a lawyer Abraham Mansari.
This message come after we community people binongi plenty pan and concern them where they be get but how the police, bailiff department na High Court and allegedly remand them be non damage their house and property them where they come for can implement the court order. As former member of parliament Honorable Amadou Fofana and community people been they explain.
They indeed evict people in this community. Them forcefully. Not only police can do that, the bailiff they will come, then come with youth man them. And come with youth man them. And when we interview some of them, now each time then go take them. If you go straight now, this drive here, the house now the junction, then demolish them and then put policemen and they permanently verdict where they get. I go say now back publicly, not for Pentagon community. I get on the phone now for Canningo. They are not for Canningo. They arrest some of you, them I think about 12. LUC as part of the peace process. With a beg, we normally then charge them go court.
We they get a problem wherein because 80% of the people where they live in this community are poor.
So they want to take advantage of the community. And the other reason why then they focus on this community now because they know say the community don't develop and go able to get good cash. How you go can you begin demolish without any demarcation? We are not in support of waiting the youth then do. But I will tell you, not to only Salon, anywhere in the world, we are vulnerable people. You want for take their livelihoods in their hand. They will die for it.
With all this, one other family will be get taken at this land, na the Jigba family, and Pastor Sam Luamba, when are the representative for this family, talk about the latest updates on this issue after where the case just come out in a court.
Within the court asked for encroachment plan. When this encroachment plan supposed to be submitted on the 14th of October next month. So submitted in a court. So now that will be the wait for 1 year this incident happen. When this issue happen, we are at the Ministry of Lands with some stakeholders there, and we presented the documents what we get as Jiba family. We explain. So the Deputy Minister of Lands is someone the executives, but we say, now we get with different surveyors them in the camp within team on Monday. Now this community, for can look the land in question. Number 2, for can do their own technical examination of this whole issue, and from there they will get back to the Toronka family and the Jiba family.
Even with this statement, community people still get questioned them where the police no get answer to. As they say, they no go challenge the court order. We make them say, then they wait now for still waiting the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Country Planning. Go pull na do Monday, September 22 this year. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Jaffa Mans Davis, they report.
The program now Good Morning Saloon where they come to you live from Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Inside the program, we continue to look at issues because of the bad thing the way they happen at some community them. Make one member of parliament now Western Urban District, Honorable Benjamin Toure, don't go put solar light now some community them for tap the way how bad people they jog people back. Well, for more on this, I put this report together.
Jog bag, jog phone. Now one of the bad thing them where they happen at different community them na Freetown. Make some time back one journalist been lost in life for sake of them bad here where they happen at different parts them na Freetown. Now for sake of this make one member of parliament for Western Urban District, Honorable Benjamin Toure, don't go put solar lights na 20 community them under in constituency when na Signal Hill, Waska and other area them. But first, make we listen to the chairman for Signal Hill community, Abubakar Kande Kamara, we talk about how this community been there.
You know, good way lights not there. You know, say we community then vulnerable. Bad people in the camp talk outside dark day for let able for do bad. So then they all make the solar light for that particular point they important for we. For now, where the honorable loan thought and fit say certain sign of the community law highlights the way people in the team up for break transport, people in the hangout, and the bad people where they can stop behind the tank and for jog posting phone, a run go where you know expect them. Then they all go push them thing and differ from we. We know say we community, we are the vigilante them for the community for hold on to some of them thing and I believe say we go do we own best now the community for protect them battery and because it's very important for we.
We aim in the talk. One of the member of parliament them for Western Urban District, Honorable Benjamin Toure, explain more the reason behind the solar lights.
Well, of course, I don't get a complaint and a concern from people around the surroundings. So like when they come for take transport around 8 o'clock, they can get attacked from boys them when they come, attack them, take them back at their hand, and so on and so forth. So I decide because on that for come install solar lights them. Now most of them transport junction there, which I at least people in the stop for take transport, so at least for strengthening the security of the community and immediately people can get peace because when you look at this community, it's a prompt community, 2020 crime rates, we need for go all out as a member of parliament for Shabes who go try for close them up.
Most them decide them with solar lights can day. Community people self can pull battery, panel and other thing them for making their own. Now this make I be ask Honorable Benjamin Toure what he expect from community people.
Well, this na concern for we all as a community because this na development. I not take and go put on a muse for don't do. Because if I count transfer, this say then for all with care. Because I do believe say them will keep on care because there are so many things we don't do in the community where at least up to now I dey see them, and this na they own this. So if anybody try for tamper with them, and not getting me for blame, na himself he get for blame, because the law go take in cause and the law go handle am strongly and strongly. For now, na points there outside people in the wait for take transport, na here are the targets for now. But there are more planned. The more the opportunity come, the more we spread hand. But for now, na junction them outside people in the wait for transport, outside students in the wait for transport, now we the target for now.
Honorable Benjamin Toure end up say, as money they come, it go carry the same facility and other community them, where they face the same challenge here. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Mina Usman Kamara, the report.
The program is still listening to now. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. As we mentioned, it's a one power headline stories them today inside the program Good Morning Salon. Radio Democracy, they look at government, public, domestic and external debts and the impact where it gets on the economy and the national development. For sake of that, I want to welcome with studio guests them inside the program. I want to welcome Matthew Sandy, the Director of Public Debt Management at the Ministry of Finance. Good morning and welcome to the program Good Morning Salon.
Good morning, 98.1, and good morning to the Famboden at the radio land.
And also in the program, I want to welcome Cyril Django, a political and economic analyst. Good morning and welcome to the program, Cyril.
Good morning to everybody, and good morning to listeners and viewers on Facebook and elsewhere. And
same way, so now the program we get Menkailu Kurma, we now representative from the All People's Congress APC party. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salon.
Good morning, 98.1. Good morning, the Republic of Sierra Leone. Delighted for you on the show.
Of course, we earlier this week or last week, the government announced say the IMF, when the International Monetary Fund, we don't be one of the development partner, them don't announce new 38 months extended credit facility of about $253 million. And these people they ask about the debt situation of Salon and what this mean for the country in debt. Well, we said the country stand in terms of debt and what government they do for maintain or reduce debts. Make we get Matthew Sandy from the Public Debt Management and Ministry of Finance. And civil society and analysts themselves get concerned about the debt situation. Make we get Cyril Django at the program. And after this announcement, the opposition self get position on the country in current debt situation. Make we get Menkailu Kurma from the All People's Congress APC party for states the opposition position for sicker debts in the country. But I start with Matthew Sandy, Director of Public Debt Management na the Minister of Finance. We go lay the basis of the discussion. Once again, good morning, Mr. Sandy. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Now, let's look at the rule and the work of the public debt management, now the Ministry of Finance, before we can look at the debt situation at the country.
Thank you. I think the role of the Public Debt Management Division of the Ministry of Finance is very simple. Now, we therefore support the government in financing, and we manage the total public debt. We include domestic and the debt that we government contract from residents, where economists and call residents, the one that we did at the country, and also from non-residents that the one that we out of the country. So now we mobilize them, and as well now we also manage the payments of them debt so they mobilize domestic and external resources, and then we manage the repayments. And not only that, we design policies and strategies on how for best reduce the cost and the risk of the public debt portfolio. So in summary, that is the role of the Public Debt Management Division, and we are guided by an act of parliament. But in all what we do, now we division, we do under a management framework. So we all day, with the report to the Honorable Minister of Finance. So we 19 lead we always in our parliament. So that is the summary of our role in the Public Debt Management Division.
All right, you just don't tell listeners, but your office in role. But let me start for look at issues them we get for do with debt. Within at the current level of the country in domestic debt at this moment.
Okay, so the current level of the country in you say in total debt, you mean current level of the country in total debt, would they really measure on the best international metric we they use now in percent of GDP. Okay, so God just help you. We and partners them. we don't rebase the gross domestic product of the country, which is measured when I measure of all of the output of the economy. When you look with debt as a percent of GDP, it don't count to 46% of GDP, of the rebased GDP. Before the rebase now been 78.47. Okay, so 78.47, that was the pre-rebased debt to GDP. But after the rebased, because we look at the mining activities, we go on, we look at other economic activities in agriculture, feed salon, there's booming in activities going on. There's hope for booming activities going on. When you look at all of those, the rebased GDP make with debt to GDP it don't actually improve to 46% of GDP.
Now 46% of debt to GDP. What does this mean to the economy and the debt situation?
Well, that is really forward-looking, sustainable. Okay, it means say there is now confidence in the level of debt. In fact, if there's no confidence, you know, go reach agreement with certain partners. Then, in particular with IMF, if you debt overbloat, you therefore enter into restructuring, like how some of the neighboring countries have been go through recently, in particular Ghana. But because we debt to GDP relatively long-term sustainable, although we get certain risks, then we'll get to talk about. We have to be sincere. We get certain risks, then we'll go talk about. But the volume indicator, we are very comfortable. The debt to GDP of 46.6% if you want to be really exact. So with that, I think we're not to be too worried about the long-term sustainability. When you look at debt in a country, not to the current, okay, now the long-term sustainability of your debt. That is also way, your debt stop the trajectory or also they go.
All right. So how the domestic debt don't they change over the past year?
Yes, the domestic debt don't they change over the past years. There's some amount of increase in the domestic debt, and that is the fact. But that no means say the overall debt stock, as I mentioned earlier, don't worsen. And so that is the only metric of the debt where they put now more attention to, for manage. And why we do that? Let me give people the background of why domestic debt increased a little bit. In 2018 going down to 2019, there was huge revenue mobilization. Where, if you remember, the target was we forgo towards almost 20% of revenue to to GDP metric. So because of that, government not be need for go too much at the market, because there was a medium-term plan where government may implement. And when government not put a medium-term plan, they should be financed. Okay, when government not put a plan for instance the free quality education, it should be financed. And their source of financing they include revenue, when are a big factor. But there was a big hit on the revenue part. But we know what talk say, because there's a hit in the revenue, government in plan for collapse. Okay, so debt management is something where you for look at for for the sake of waiting at the broad government objective. Okay, so during that period of the shock of the COVID, we just get to come in for smooth government activities, so that there will not be kids will go drop out of school. So starting keep services, and we just get to maintain them. There has to be the police operating. There should be the military operating, and even Ministry of Information and Communication. Even when I say there has to be people supporting your activity, and all other Ministry of Agriculture. So because of that, government will get for come in for close that gap there on the revenue side where the shock happened. So now make we see say in the past 2-3 years there was some slight increase in the domestic debt.
So we can look at the domestic debts proper, who that government own, and the strategies them we government they put in place for reduce that domestic debt. But we look at the one of the tools them we IMF and World Bank they use for track the sustainable performance of countries them when they don't do debt relief for. We Salona one of them we IMF been do debt relief for during the COVID-19, and then we don't do debt sustainability analysis for Salon, and as of November 2023 shows say Salon public debt sustainable boy they at high risk of debt distress. What's in a debt distress and what's in this mean?
Okay, so debt distress is measured by four main, I'll call them indicators them. So now four main for good we know what's in an indicator now four main number them we use for measure debt. The first one are the one I just announced, one are the public debt, the PV of public debt, or the present value of public debt to GDP ratio. We that one metric down the end. On that metric they perform well. Okay, so we they below the threshold for we debt carrying capacity, one of the international classification for we for we current measurements. On the PV of debt service to export, sorry, on debt service to export, one another metric, debt service to export, we are also comfortable there. So the first one, as I mentioned, are PV of debt to GDP. The second one are debt service to export. So we are also comfortable there. The next one, when are we debt service to revenue. Debt service to revenue, now the way we know they do very well. So, and if a country know they do very well on debt service to revenue, you get what they call some liquidity challenge, and that no means say I'm sorry, that no means say that is the end of the world. It just means we continue to collect more revenue. Okay, as a country we will continue to collect more revenue, and with the now medium term revenue mobilization strategy where the country gets, and with NRA also they help we for implement. We hope say we go improve on we debt service to revenue. That are the only metric we make they say we debt sustainability they at high risk. That's the only metric, but all other metric them we are very okay, and we are under the threshold.
What in the poor performance of the loans gets on that liquidity, on the solvency?
Okay, so release, you will find out say there has been an arrest on the poor performance of the Leone. Before I go to that question, one of the metric they winner, because I measure four metric there. One of the metric they winner actually the PV of debt to export ratio itself. So that the present value of debt to waiting the country they export. So we are also very comfortable in that area. So we get three metric then where as a country we pass. The only one way they give you small challenge now with debt service to revenue. So for come to you question in terms of exchange rate and any impact on with risk. Exchange rate yes gets impact on the risk. Now make way for we can do debt sustainability analysis. We always impose one particular shock in the calculation, in the international calculation, and that shock now we can call it one-time depreciation of the exchange rate, and that the standard shock now actually 30% shock in all countries when under the low-income countries debt sustainability framework analysis. So we can just impose 30% shock, even if there's no shock. Anytime we do DSA, we can just impose how that will impact on the debt sustainability. We've been suffer from that during the period of the transition for the redenomination and also combined with the with the COVID shock and the like. So we suffer from massive depreciation, but we don't exit from that side, and that is really confirmed by international partners. If you read the IMF press release, you will find out say we all, not only governments, APC, SLPP, 98.1, all the people in the country don't put effort together with the leadership of government for arrest that depreciation. So I think that is something that everybody should take credit for. Okay, but in particular the leadership of government. So it is very good when countries they work together for solve challenge. So for answer a question, that the impact of the exchange rate, it increased the debt stock, in particular external debt stock. It increased external debt stock. If there's any massive depreciation, it translates automatically to increase in the debt stock. But that happened like 1 or 2 years ago. I mean, we see the debt to GDP it been actually ballooned in 2022. Okay, but we don't exit that part now. We don't get a stable part, and that is confirmed by partners. So now we actually seeing a smooth debt part.
Okay. Now you just explain wherein you say over the past year the country in domestic debt don't increase from one step to another. Now let me look at some of the key factors as a country. Waiting the cause some of them here we make over the past year with debt they increase.
No, as I mentioned to you, the key factor really now then two big shocks the way come into it. Okay. Revenue mobilization was really good if you look at the history, the cycle. Some of we don't think I don't see several programs. Actually, I could see 15 programs where IMF don't approve, both working in the Ministry of Finance and previously at the International Monetary Fund Resident Office as senior economist. So those the period of the shock now there we actually see domestic debt increase. Because that is really sensible. If any government is in power, if there's a shock, it better let you maintain state institutions, it better let you maintain critical services to government than you just hold your hand at the air and talk say, there's a shock, I don't get revenue, and therefore people die. Therefore, I can remember then and there was this how was it called? There was an initiative of the previous, the previous president, the APC president, and then Skuruma. I think he had a health sector kind of initiative. We've been calling it free health bar also. So there was that shock as well during the in time during the Ebola. But not talk say let all the hospitals them be vacant, from nurses. We just have to get some financing for continue for pay nurses, for continue for pay teachers. So that's the same thing. During the period of the the COVID-19 shock, there was some shock on the revenue. Actually, when it was calculated, it was around $100 million shock in domestic revenue. So we come in for closing that gap there. But you need to do them for a long time. If you do them for a long time, without partners do not come on board, it will lead to an unsustainable level. So I think that is one thing that we as debt managers, we get for coming for support any Minister of Finance for CC. Government continue to implement programs that is calm, that is decorum in the country, and finances are actually supplied, but at the minimum cost and also at the minimum risk. I can stop there because I see you want for coming.
Yeah. Continue for the way to inside the program. We'll come back, we'll look at some policies where government put in place for handle that, and same also for know if state-owned enterprise then self don't contribute to the country in domestic debt. Continue for the way to inside the program. We'll go for a short break. We'll continue the program. Good morning, Saloon.
It's a brand new song for our customers. Where they back with us all over the universe.
You know you can trust me. With GT Wall, you can buy Exa anytime, anywhere. You can go to App Store or Play Store on your iPhone and Android devices, download the app, and enjoy. GT Code. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
The program Good Morning Saloon, they continue. If you just join we in the edition of the program Good Morning Saloon, they look at government, domestic and external debt and the impact it gets on the economy and national development. Inside the studio, you will listen to the Director of Public Service, Public Debt Management, the Ministry of Finance, Matthew Sandy, and still now the program we get Cyril Django, political and economic analyst, and Minkailu Kurma, we represent the All People's Congress APC party. I come to Minkailu Kurma before come to we analyst inside the program. When IMF announced new 38 months extended credit facility of about $253 million last week as part of the part of the country that the opposition get concerned with this and other debts them the country. For listeners and viewers of Radio Democracy, Mikhailo, what's in our opposition position on the public debts of the country?
We position always don't remain constant, and want to rule for no. In the first place, I know I agree with a lot of things that the director say. I know say the director not a politician, he talk from a professional point of view, and in fact it all reference to what we obtained during APC time. I see the mention 2014 and clearly states say the economy they do well until we get the twin shocks. That is, we know so we been get Ebola at this country, and we been get the drop of iron ore sales now the world market. That they been make the economy been get serious problem, even though the economy been they grow at a faster rate. And so you don't try for manage down there very well for explain to the public. But however, one states to clearly when I raise the question, say waiting at the factors and we responsible for increase in both external and domestic debt. I see they try for manage them very well, but I want state have initial say one of the reasons that we're responsible for them debts then they now because of wasteful spending. Where this government's been come, then tell we say a lot of leakages then they loopholes, then they try for facilitate for law begin use the single treasury account when our APC been commenced under Dr. Kelfala Mara, and that all government money for the inside one port for block the leakages. But as time progresses, we see say the leakages where government be one block, government will block them. Instead, government creates ways for spend boku money. One, then create more employment will not be necessary. They establish a lot of ministries, departments, and agencies, and they establish other diplomatic missions. We mean say the country be they spend money too much more than we they earn. It reach a peak at the moment where even for low pay salaries, we get for borrow money at the domestic market for low pay salaries. Waiting government they get enough for let they address recurrent expenditure, talk less of external expenditure, capital expenditure rather. So as a result, we only go depend on IMF, World Bank, and other institutions then for intervene and salvage the situation in Sierra Leone. Now we take a look at the budget, annual budget. Government the budget to a point that government not even get half of that money they for fund that budget. I know say previous government they also depend on development partners and donors and for support budget, but right now they get serious constraints in terms of budgetary support. You know, a lot of things and they way and notes where the director been the talk. But let's look at the most important one now. On the 20th September 2024, IMF will reach a staff level agreement on a new 38-month external credit facility arrangement with Sierra Leone and complete 2024 Article 4 mission. Now we see the first person for run commenting on this now, the chief minister, where the chief minister go on social media and make audio on this, and we see PK Mwana the share, and we also see another social and political commentator, Dr. Sylvia Blyden, becoming the first for corrector. You know, first on the structure of IMF, which I mentioned, say the president instead of the managing director, and a lot of things there. He also talked about tripartite recovery. It begs the question, waiting at tripartite recovery and waiting tripartite recovery get for do with this particular, you know, discussion where the chief minister been try for put across. We also need for know say reasons and they will make IMF actually do this when at the credit facility. We for know say the credit facility IMF say it will support restoring stability through continued macroeconomic adjustment to address debt vulnerability, reduce inflation, and rebuild international reserves, booster inclusive growth and poverty reduction through structural reforms and targeted social spending, revitalize the reform agenda to strengthen the governance and institution, all advancing outlined in the country's medium-term development plan 2024 to 2030. So IMF does summarize the reasons why make them make this intervention. So I don't see IMF states any side they say they go can put that money there for ensure say they do what we call